Raj on film here. Looks like we have a beautiful day and for a good topic. So let's begin. Car crashes. Car crashes are often deadly and take away a lot of our family members, friends, family. And then we have plane crashes that are even worse. They definitely have taken away a lot of our family members and friends as well. We're going to talk about a certain individual today. John Henry Deutschendorf. You may not know that name, but to all of us and the world, that would be legendary singer John Denver. We're going to talk about his plane crash. You don't hear too much about John Denver anymore. I particularly liked him a lot. I know a lot of people did. So, John Denver was born December 31st, 1943. If he was alive, he'd be 79 years old. If it wasn't for his plane crash, you never know. But he'd probably still be alive. John Denver was very much a world-class entertainer. Lots of albums, very popular, but you haven't heard much out of him since 1997, at the time of his death, and he was 53 years old. John Denver wasn't just a singer, a great singer and guitar player, known for his melodic melodies type songs and his voice, which is incredible in my opinion. But he was also very much a pilot. He was a single engine pilot, good instrument ratings, and he was also very much a jet pilot, a jet class pilot. Very much so knew his way around aircraft. So did his father before him. His father was in the military and a pilot, also a jet pilot. So you'd ask yourself, why would a man like that then wind up dead in a deadly plane crash? Well, he had purchased a VariEze, which is an experimental aircraft. They call them experimentals. They're usually kit planes. It was called a VariEze, a strange-looking little aircraft. And then you would think, well, okay, so he's in a VariEze. That should be safe if he knows what he's doing and very much a pilot, which he was. The whole problem with that plane, when he bought it, that the fuel valve selector switch that switches from one tank to the other was mounted on the rear back side of him. Behind the seat. And other than that, the plane was fine. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks that way. And it had been mentioned that he really needed to put that up front on the console, on the control console. That way he wouldn't have to reach behind him if he was low on fuel to select to the next tank, the next fuel tank. And unfortunately, John Denver didn't do that. He was excited about flying his plane. And I don't blame him. So he got in his plane. Against the advice of a couple people that I mentioned, you know, might want to get that fixed. And this was in Monterey Bay, California area, where he had his plane and a home there in California as well. He also lived in Aspen, Colorado. That's where his main home was. So he gets this flight going, clears the runway, and is up and away, and the flight's going well. Again, they're in California, Monterey Bay area. He's cruising at about 500 feet or so. There were witnesses to this crash. They heard a sputtering of the engine. And this plane goes hurling into the Pacific Ocean at Monterey Bay, California. The witnesses said they saw the plane sputter, which is probably an indication that the fuel was low. He's trying to switch tanks, and he's having trouble doing that. So the plane goes at an angle and crashes, and it does kill him. It destroys the aircraft. So a very sad situation. This happened on October 12th, 1997, and John Denver was 53 years old. He did have a good life and a great career, but his life was cut short. 53 years old is still a fairly young man. By the time emergency services reached him, there was nothing they could do. He was dead and from blunt force trauma. Very tragic. And the plane was just in several small pieces. John Denver left behind a daughter, a couple other kids that were adopted, and he had 2 ex-wives. A career like that, he just didn't have time for marriage, made it very difficult. So John Denver's remains were cremated and scattered in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. There is a memorial park for John Denver, and a memorial. It's in Aspen, Colorado. You can look it up online. But it's been a long time since anybody said anything about John Denver, or brought him up. I'm a big fan, obviously, but so are many others. I want to thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. So rest in peace to John Denver. John Henry Deutschendorf, known as worldwide as John Denver. Thank you for watching.